So as you saw in the thumbnail, today I'll be working on cargo harbor area in our industrial zone. It's, I would say, moderately detailed, of course, lots of custom assets here, and most importantly, it's functioning. So no traffic issues, at least so far, and it's quite easy to recreate. Also, all the other builds you can see so far on screen were done in 2 other episodes, so if you want to catch up, the playlist will pop up here, but you don't have to. I started off with redoing the waterfront, deleting the current quay, and do some landscaping. I use this very basic way for framing. Key. Okay, no quay, just quay. That's weird. Of course, a little flat situation took place, nothing to worry about. And with terrain somewhat in the place, I started with the network layout. I replaced some of my network. I've mentioned some of my network rules in industrial zones in previous episode where I built this train yard part. There I talk a little bit about my approach to avoid traffic issues. Generally speaking, I stick to one-way only roads. The least intersections, the better. Better for them to drive around the whole area than have multiple intersections and, crossing each other all the time. And 2-lane roads, so they can turn wherever they want without clogging the network. And if it doesn't make sense for you right now, go back to the previous episode. So I'm trying to have more or less a general idea where the buildings will be, but I will tweak some things as we go. And as always, I don't really have a big plan, just a general idea. I didn't sketch it in advance, probably should have. I don't mind about it being slightly uneven, I will straighten it later. And also this area already has some weird angles going on, so not much I can do right now, and it won't be perfectly straight. I used those airport tiles to get rid of the ground texture and make a nice foundation for later work, but it also overlaid with roads, making it a bit difficult to move stuff around, you will see. I wanted to make a second entrance to the area, and I really struggled with making it work. I left some footage. I came with an idea later, so let's keep it for a while. I just left this bit so you won't be surprised that random road appeared. I want to go first with big main buildings, and as much as I tried to make this video less chaotic than last time, I failed. It's going to be a bit of going back and forth with different elements, let's say, and something different that I felt could work are those bulk coal/iron piles. It needed a bit of work, and this is where you can see that the airport tiles overlay with everything else. I went for a search for some kind of warehouses that would fit in. I did not want to use too many new textures, so for cohesive look I stick to what I already have placed. And again, I placed it all in previous episode. Because of that, this build was a little bit quicker. It took me like 2 hours only, so I had everything laid out for me to copy, including most of the containers. I promise last time I mentioned the previous episode. Felt like cheating a little bit, but also not. I put some work before, so why not use it? And there are a few new additions, of course, such as this container yard. It's a bit too colorful for me, but that's also how I imagine those places, a little bit messy. Now, ladies and gentlemen and others, it's the moment of the enlightenment. I figure out the train situation. So a little break from container stuff, alright. So I changed the route to bridge mode, I would say, with network anarchy, and laid tracks nicely underneath the road. Smoothed everything nicely with the network multi-tool. There's a cool option called slope, I don't know what. But I used to do it manually with Move It. I don't know why. You just, few clicks and it's really nice and smooth, and it shows you the angles. Are they okay or not okay? Mm, of course, I fixed some stuff with node controller and added this retaining wall underneath to cover this awkward void hollowness that happened. I have a very bad English day today, excuse me, not native, wish I was. So I give you formula because as easy as it seems right now, it didn't come to my mind right away. I struggle a little bit, and this is I think the easiest way to do this. It's time for actual cargo harbor, and I must admit there wasn't much choice on the Steam Workshop, so I went with this one, which is simple, pretty small, and suitable for my area. And it's about the time where you might realize it's not the best network when it comes to realism. There are some random connections, but let's work with that. Okay, this is so random. Maybe the ship asset is broken. We'll see when the next one arrives. And with harbor already placed, I thought of some docks to add. This is what I went with. And for me, this tetrapod prop looked a bit too artificial. I've seen people do really cool stuff with that, but it's too micro scale for me. So I play around with it, I place it like that, probably will change it in the future because it bugs me. And of course, the most important thing that was missing are cranes. I had to see the whole selection I have, so I hands up laid everything I got. And I did not work on a really micro scale like I mentioned. I would say the placement is pretty random and not that crazy realistic. And I tested different kinds around the area. And what was left was filling random areas with three main components, I would say, which are containers, of course, with trucks and stuff like that. workers walking around, which add a lot of realism and make it more alive. And road decals to avoid this very 2D look on ground without any. So I went with my favorite, like ruined road kinda style. Some of these containers act as a warehouses for produce, so they are not just mindless props. They will actually be in use, and some of them even like gradually pop up next containers as they are getting filled. Again, bad English day, excuse me. There wasn't that much to work on, mostly placing all the props I've already mentioned, fixed some greenery, and I took a quick glance at the train pass. It was nice to see it in a first-person view. It brings me a lot of joy to see the city from this perspective, though I always feel like nobody cares apart from the actual builder. This spot was pretty random and empty, so I squeezed in a warehouse and, of course, containers, which I realize are not accessible because of the building. I thought of adding parking, but felt like it's not needed. The other ones were empty. There was also one cool asset I forgot to add. It has sort of an animated crane, so the stuff actually moves around. You can see it here. I'm not sure about the performance. I'm not that crazy about the performance anymore because I upgraded my CPU and also doubled my RAM, which is right now 64 gigabytes, which I feel works great with the amount of assets that I have. Of course, this is rather purely optimized game, not saying that CS2 is much better. But yeah, I'm happy with the upgrade. I actually wanted to do a separate video on that, but so this whole build added quite a bit of workplaces and raised the demand for new citizens, so I know what I'm going to do next. But what you can do next is leave a sub to not miss out on any future episode, catch up with the earlier ones if you want. They don't need to be watched in order, to be honest. And yeah, I also make some cool videos about the mods, and I guess see you in the next video. Bye!